Nerds in the club and you know how we do. Handful of cash and a couple of brews. So many women, so little time. Gotta find a key to make her mine, oh mine. Nerds in the club, yeah we do it all the time.
Welcome to another edition of Chachi Says, the vidcast. You'll notice that the one camera is moving around a lot. Sword, the producer, decided that what I was doing wasn't good enough. I'm messing with you. There was some ledges or something from where I had the camera set up the last time, so I figured I'd give this a shot instead. Welcome to another exciting edition. This week we're going to talk about the Nintendo. This is pretty much going to be a 6-minute ad for the NES and Nintendo Corporation, but deal with it. Now, every nerd, video game playing nerd, has his roots. They have what they started with, and that tends to be where they go back to when they start talking about video games. For me, it was the regular Nintendo, the NES. But there's my Nintendo. It's all set up, and there's the controllers, and there's about 30 games in there in the exclusive collector's edition. You can't really see it, but it's the leather carrying case. So there's that. The Power Glove. So bad. And then down here we have some more stuff. Got several light guns, plenty of controllers to go around, to the point where I started making belt buckles out of them. This is one of the belt buckles. It's the latest one I made. Haven't actually worn that one yet. I'm not sure how it's going to sit in my crotch area. But I also have enough spare parts in my collection that I could probably build a second fully working Nintendo, minus the cables, because I don't have an extra set of cables laying around. So there's all that. It's hooked up. I play it regularly. I've had to replace the 72-pin the connector several times so far because I play it so much. What I've actually been playing lately, besides Super Mario 3, which is something I always play and always will play. But right here, you'll see I have Super Dodgeball, Wizards and Warriors, and Dragon Spirit. Along with that, I don't actually have a physical copy of it, but I've been playing a lot of Little League World Series, which is a surprisingly difficult game. For being Little League and baseball, it's rather hard. I haven't made it past the second round of the World Series yet. I continue to keep trying and play my hardest, so I don't let those little guys down. But the names in it are perfect. You have Wang and Chung on the Taipei team, and every time they bat, I start singing the Wang Chung song, and it's just bad. But these three games have really stuck out for me over the time. Super Dodgeball, it's one of the shortest Nintendo games that you can actually play. There's only like 4 rounds, and it's surprisingly easy to destroy the opponents in it if you know how to play it. So, I mean, there's that. I keep trying to find ways to make it more difficult, but it hasn't worked yet. Wizards and Warriors, I like it because it's a cartoony fighting wizard warrior game. If you get my drift, you run around, you collect gems so you can move on to the next levels, and you defeat these hideous monsters. I mean, they're just bad. Super giant bats, bouncing skulls, flame wizard thingies, and ghosts, and it's just not good. And I think that's why I have an attraction to that game, because it's so horribly done as far as story and everything goes. It's just hilarious to play. And then Dragon Spirit. Now that game, if you read my blog during Winter Emus, or not during Winter Emus, whenever I happened to post it, I did a post on this particular game. This game is quite the innovator. And the reason I say that is because it's a flying shooting game. You fly your dragons, you fly around, you shoot enemies, you beat bad guys, all so you can save your father, who was captured by the evil wizard. Now, the innovation of this game comes in the point that in order to determine what level you're playing this game at, you have to do a pre-level. And the pre-level is basically they throw everything at you. You beat this level, you move on to the game, and you play it at a harder state than you normally would. You lose this level, and you play basically on easy throughout the entire thing. And I'm not saying that it's easy by any standards. I mean, this is a difficult game to play, no matter what level it is, but it's one of the funnest. I mean, and while we're talking about it, I would like to also point out that people have no idea what this stuff is worth. And I'm not saying that, I mean, this stuff is invaluable. I'm not saying that by any means whatsoever, but I'm just saying that I think this stuff is worth a lot more than it actually is. It is hard to find someone that actually realizes that every one of these games is worth no more than $1. And if it's not worth that much, it's because they only made a few copies of the game to begin with. Or it's something like they had to stop making that particular version of the game due to someone suing because they didn't ask for the proper rights for the game. For example, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. If you actually get a copy of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, that's worth not a lot, but it's worth a lot in Nintendo standards. So, I mean, stuff like that, that's understandable. But that's all I really have for you. I know it wasn't all that exciting, more educational as far as Nintendo goes. If you have any questions, you want me to cover more about Nintendo in particular, email me, csvidcast@gmail.com. You can leave comments no matter where you watch this at, chachisays.net, chachisays.blip.tv, youtube.com/Mr. Chachi Says, and you can even subscribe to us on YouTube, or iTunes, not YouTube, iTunes. It's Chachi Says. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Nerds in the club and you know how we do. Handful of cash and a couple of brews. So many women, so little time. Gotta find a key to make her mine, oh mine. Nerds in the club, yeah we do it all the time. Watch the girls dancing, looking just fine. Your music's playing loud and you ain't gonna stop it. Oh shit, shorty just dropped it. Took a break from the games, and my man player 2 did the same. Drinking and dancing, we're gonna do it right. Looking for the next player take home for the night. Not looking to pay